I received a comment on one of my videos that said, I'm so overwhelmed. And it made me remember that's exactly how I felt probably 18 months to 2 years ago. I was operating in a state of panic, adrenaline, and just pure survival, if I'm being honest, thinking that this is the way that it's supposed to be. I couldn't sleep. I had chronic night sweats. I had terrible mouth ulcers. I just thought that that's just the way it is. I was operating from that place, not realizing that I had to take steps to simplify my life. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, I did. And so in this video today, I'm going to share with you the systems that I've set up inside of my life to help simplify mum life. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to download anything. You can basically use what you already have. I'm just going to show you how I used them and how they were beneficial to me. If that sounds interesting to you, woohoo, go ahead, click the like button and let's get straight into it. Hello and welcome. We are up to day 3 of the 5-day Simplify challenge. I am excited to have you here. If you're new to me, my name is Jay and focus purely on keeping things simple. This whole challenge is all about small ways in which you can go ahead and simplify your life to make things easier, to cut the overwhelm, to cut the burnout, just small incremental steps. If you like this stuff, then definitely go ahead and check out the playlist below, which has all of the past videos that we've covered in previous days. Let's get into the first step. Your girl had to put her glasses back on because I can't see without them. I thought I could do it, but it doesn't work so well. So I put them back on. Oh, and if you're wondering what the hell is going on, I'm sitting in the car park waiting for my daughter to finish Afrobeats. So this is mum life. I spend my life in my car. So first up, I want to talk about why do you even need to start taking steps to simplify your life? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? You're probably feeling extremely burnt out, just tired, don't want to talk to anyone, really cranky, incredibly irritated, not actually eating that well, and probably not sleeping all that well. I say this because that's exactly how I was feeling, and I know the feeling all too well. So if you're feeling like that, it's time to just set up some systems or some better boundaries to be able to help you. So the first thing that I want you to do is to go ahead and brain dump. I mean, as in get everything out of your head. Now, the issue that I had with this is that I would pull up my notebook. I've only got a little piece of paper here with my dot points on. I would pull up my notebook and I'd go to sit down and then my brain would go blank. And I'm like, I can't remember what I need to write down. And it almost felt overwhelming because there was this huge blank page. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to write. How comes I can't remember anything? And that would literally make my head spin. So for some people, this might work really well for you. You're able to take somewhere quiet to sit down and take the time, just carve out that time. It may feel like you're going a million miles an hour, but I honestly carve out that time just to sit down and write down whatever it is, whether you've got to change the direct debit, whether you've got to go and take your books back to the library, whether you've got to order a new pair of soccer boots for your kid, whatever it is, write it down. It cannot stay in your head. You have to get it out of your head because that's what's contributing to that overwhelm, because you've got it all stored up there and it's like it's trapped and you just feel more and more anxious. Every time you pick up your phone, you've got a message or an email or this is due or whatever it is. And you're like, oh my God, it just all becomes too consuming. So honestly, take the time to just write them down, whatever you can, and then come back to it. If you need to add more to it, at some point you remember something, that's all good. You can add that to that same notebook or whatever, to that list. But if you're on the go, this is the second system that might help you out as well. So I can't take this as my own idea at all, not in the slightest. This is from the Mindful Midlife channel, and she talked about SMSs, and I was like, huh. SMS, okay. We all have a phone, we all send SMSs, right? And we all send them to friends, family, whatever it is. But have you actually considered sending an SMS to yourself? Sending yourself an SMS. Oh my goodness, a SMS text message, whatever you want to call it. I call it text, but. And when she said that, it was almost like a ting, like a light bulb went off. And I thought to myself, oh yeah. So this really helped me out when I was brain dumping and trying to get all of the things out of my head that need to be done or need to arrange or need to schedule or buy or whatever it is, and getting those out of my head. It really helped me when I was on the go and I didn't have a notebook and I didn't have a pen or anything like that. I would take out my phone and I would send myself a text message, and the text message was either just the action or the note or the thing that I needed to do, and I still do it. I think I've only implemented this probably in the last 2 months, but it has been so significant and really, really helpful. I was like surprised. I was like, oh yeah, who knew that that would work? So I would recommend doing that. That's a really great system to help you simplify your life. You don't need anything else. You don't need any app or any tool. The issue is that I've used a lot of these other like Notion and notes inside of your phone and all of that, and I couldn't use them, and I couldn't figure out why it is that I couldn't use them. I was like, but I have the app, like why can't I use that? And I realized that it was because it felt like for me it was something else that I had to learn. And I was like, I don't have time, space, bandwidth to understand what that button does. I don't have time. But I just wanted somewhere to capture my thoughts, somewhere to capture them so that I didn't feel like I was freaking losing my mind. And that's what I felt like all the time. So just having SMS or using the text message feature on your phone allows you just to capture your thoughts, write it down. And the great thing is that once you've finished, you can go in and you can actually delete them. That's what I do when I've actually like ticked them off, because I do like having to like cross it off, cross them off, but I can actually just go in and delete them as I go. And then I'm like, cool, I'm actually getting through my list, which is great. So the other system to consider to help you simplify your life is implementing index cards. Now, I have talked about this before and how they literally changed the game. And I feel like I say that all the time, but honestly, these systems, small incremental changes changed my life. You know, when you're on a path to try and find a solution because you know that this isn't normal, like having consistent mouth ulcers and night sweats, just couldn't, that couldn't have been it, right? It's like, this can't be my life, really. Having index cards was another great way to help me simplify things. And in addition to that as well, it's very similar to using the index card. So if I hadn't thought of an idea, then I would literally just write it down, put it down on that card, and I'll just leave it to the side. And it was great because it still doesn't overwhelm me like having a notebook. I don't like having notebooks. And I've tried everything, but I just don't like them because I don't like seeing all those things on one page. Like, I'm not here for it. No, it already makes me overwhelmed just thinking about it. So I try to stay away from writing things down in notebooks or anything like that with long lists, because I just can't do it. It's too scary. My little body can't handle it. All right, moving on to the last one, which once again, I know I say it all the time, but it did change the game. And that is actually using your personal calendar. I started jotting things down inside of my calendar all the time, like relentless. I started with, and this is a very small starting point, I was the person that always forgot everyone's birthdays. And I felt bad. I forgot my niece's, my nephew's birthday, cousin's birthday. I was like, how is this happening? I'm 41 years old. Like, I keep forgetting everyone's birthdays. This is just embarrassing. So what I started to do, just to save myself the embarrassment each and every year, was I actually just started jotting down birthdays. And this is not my immediate family. I'm talking about my extended family. And I felt bad because I like to give them a call, send a card, present, whatever it is. Like, I want to be that auntie. I started adding them to my calendar and putting inside of there a repeat, so to repeat annually, and then it will give me a reminder 1 week before, you know, that kind of thing. Oh my goodness, it really saved me. And in addition to that, as you're starting to add things to your calendar, your own personal calendar, and I don't mean scheduling out and blocking out your calendar, that's not what I mean, but adding the important things like in there that need to be done. For example, you need to take your kids to a sports event, a school concert is coming up, or you've got to make a payment for their new sports kit, whatever it is, add those into your calendar. I feel like it's with the barrage of emails that come through and literally waterfall, like raining emails and notifications, you almost forget that actually I should put that somewhere. It's not a matter of just seeing it, it's a matter of actually I've got to do something with this so that I don't lose my marbles along the way. And that really has helped. And even when it comes down to like capturing when bills are due, or roughly when they come out, you know, is it once a month, is it once a quarter, etc., those types of things, I started adding them all to my calendar, and it really helped just to calm my mind. Because if you go back, there's a video that I did at the beginning of this year where I talked about one of my goals for this year, and that goal was to kind of get on top of my finances, and kind of not on top of my finances, but have a little bit more clarity about when things are happening, when they need to be paid, all of that stuff, because I felt like I just didn't know. And I always felt like everything was always a surprise, like, ta-da! here's a new bill. You're like, oh shit, I didn't realize that was here today. Sorry, excuse my French. But that kind of thing. So if you are looking to find ways to simplify your finances, I'm no finance guru or anything like that, but I'm going to show you how I went about doing that and what I did in tomorrow's video, in day 4's video, which will be up here once it's ready. And thank you so much for joining in the challenge. I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these 3 systems will you be implementing into your life? Will it be the calendar? Will it be the SMS component? Will it be just brain dumping and putting everything inside of your notebook? Or will it be the SMS component? Have I covered them all? SMS, calendar, brain dump, and index cards. I got there in the end, mum brain. All right, gorgeous one. Keep fighting for simplicity, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.